This project is created by myself Nagaraja and by batchmates Pradeep, Prem Kumar, Pranit Reddy under the guidance of our teacher Dr. Sudha MS. Hi guys, today I am going to teach you how to create a basic language converter using simple artificial intelligence. Today I am going to use Jupyter software to create this project. For this you have to already have the Jupyter software downloaded in your PC, or you can have it downloaded from the Google and then start with the process. Once downloaded, you can start with the application. Once you start the application, you'll be able to find this home page. We are ready to select the new option and then go with the Python 3. Then you'll be able to view this new file. Here is the place where you can dump the code and then run the option to execute this program. The first step in our program is to establish communication between the server and the client over a network. So we're using a function called socket, which is a low level networking interface to create the communication that is between the client and the server. To use this socket function, first we have to import the socket. Then the second step is to get the address of the localhost to create the communication between the server and the client. So let's run this code. Yes, then you're able to see the established connection of the localhost here. The second step in our project is to create an application where we could implement our project. For that, first we have to import all the above functions, and then the foremost thing in our project by which the whole process is running is by importing the translator and the language file from the Google Trans library. And then we are using root is equal to tk function, which is to create a window for our application. Then we are setting the parameter of the window, that is the geometry, the size of the window. Then we are giving the background color of the window, that is I have given the sky blue color. Then we are giving the title of the window, that is the real-time translator. Then we are giving the exact application title, language converter, and the, as you could see here, this is the font of the language translator word. Next step is to create an input text box where we have to enter the text, and the width I have provided is 50. Then these are the coordinates of the text box where it is going to be placed in the application window. And to represent that input text box, we are giving a label as enter text with a font style of Arial and the background color as white smoke. And these are the coordinates for the label of the input text box. Next we have to create a text box for the output text, and as this is not a entry text box as we have used for input text, it is not necessary to give entry function here, and we have given all these parameters according to our purpose. Then these are the coordinates for where the output text has to be placed within the application, and this is the label functioning the output, and this is the Arial function we have to use for the font text style, and white smoke for the background, and these are the coordinates for representing the label in the application. Next we have inserted the list of languages we have provided for the users to use the translation from one language to another, and this language function is used from the library function we have imported from the Google Trans. And these are the, here is the place where we are drop list the number of languages we are going to use, and these are the coordinates where it is going to be placed in the application, and this is the default value which I am providing for the text of the representing this combo box. Until now we have created application where we have inserted the required input output box and the title of the project. Now we are looking at the code which tells us how the translator function or the application is actually working. For that we have used the translation as the output, and the translator function here we have used to translate the input text. We are getting it from the user, and by selecting the destination language from the drop box, we are able to convert the whole thing into translated text and storing it in the translation output text. Then we have already got a set of values in the output for a previous set of inputs. So first you have to delete that text in the output text, and then we have to insert the newly translated text into this. There may be exception where you get a translation error because we are given a set of inputs but you have not selected the translation language in the Dropbox, where you would get the output as translation error in the code but you would not get any error in the application window. Next, we have to create a translation button where we are after we are selecting the translation language and giving the set of inputs, we have to select this translation button to get the output. That is the whole thing about the coding of this project. Once you're done with the coding, you could run this program. Once you run the program, you will be able to get this application window we have created. Here you can enter the text and you can select the options of the languages as per your wish. I have given the Kannada language and you can give this translate button. Here you can see the output as hello world in Kannada. We have given the input in English language and we got the output in Kannada. Now let's try from Kannada to Hindi. As you can see, I have given the input in Kannada and I'm selecting the list of languages as Hindi. Now you can see the output is printed in hello world in Hindi. Now we have learned how to create a easy language converter using AI. Thank you.